This random cat roving the neighborhood just walked up to the window. It was like, hey, what's going on?
You don't have a recording light up?
Yeah, on air.
No, that's why he came by. He was like, I've heard this podcasting thing is cool. I'm trying to get
Cats don't care. Cats do not care.
You don't think if we let cats podcast that they wouldn't just take over the airwaves?
Just like they did the
Because
internet?
they're real chatty. Just cats, I feel like, have a lot to say. You know, they're kind of the squeaky wheel of the animal world.
Is that why they get the grease?
Yeah, that's right. I think my metaphors got mixed up.
For the first time.
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
That train is off the track.
I feel like you can't just like jump through Neptune and be okay.
Just prepare to...
What the show needs is more dogs and bears and chickens and stuff.
Yeah, so just prepare to be awash in unbelievable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You are listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is October 6th, 2024, and this is episode 720. Coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana, I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials. This show, we just got one topic, and it's the Western Conference preview. Joining me this week are all three of our analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from the high school home of Jameson Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland, it's the doctor, Jason Triplett.
What is up, Pacers fans? What is up? Undebeatable shout out to the onset of the 24-25 NBA season. It's official now that we're doing our preview podcast. Now we can say it started.
All right. Yeah, very excited to get back into it. From the lost city of Atlantis, he's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks and the crappy jingles, John Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? What is up, Undebeatables? I just want to shout out everybody who has been checking on me. I'm in Asheville, and it's pretty awful. There's no running water, but the internet came back yesterday because the Lord wants me to give out terrible predictions on the NBA.
Because priorities. Who needs running water if you've got YouTube?
That's right.
Wait, is it true that the reason that you were having trouble with the internet was just because you needed to reboot your modem the whole time?
Is that what it was? It might have been it.
Yeah.
People don't know about that. People know about some of the miracles. The water to wine. People don't know a lot about the water to YouTube miracle that Jesus did.
That's right.
I mean, that really just changed everything. You know.
What book is that in? I don't think I read that one.
I think that's in Jebediah. I don't know.
Jebediah 4. That's 420, right? From Tacoma, Washington, out west, is our enforcer, John Harper.
What is going on, fellas? Great to see you guys.
Harper, I think we need some enforcing on the hurricane season, if you can do anything about that. Just, I know you got a guy, right?
Yeah, clearly I'm not paying him enough to take care of that, but we'll replace him for the 2025 season.
I've seen how it's done. It's just a Sharpie, right? And you just change how it goes.
That's right.
Well, before we get into the Western Conference preview, we want to let you know that you can support us, the longest running Pacers podcast, by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables, and you can support our show for as little as $1 per month. All right, Jason, as you'd mentioned, the 24-25 season is getting ready to start, and we are going to go through the whole Western Conference. How are you going to run this thing this year?
Right, yeah. So for listeners of the past, what we do is we go through the Western Conference this week. We'll try to do the Eastern Conference sometime before the season starts, hopefully. But to mix it up, instead of just going, alphabetically or conference, we do order based on some different things. Like we did mascots one year, or arena names. And the past few years, we've been doing a theme. So we did highest career scorers, and then last year we did highest rebounders, and so this year we're moving on to assists. So we're going to do it in order of franchises who have a person that has the most assists for that team, I guess, right? So for a single franchise. So for instance, to kick us off, with 15,806 assists in his career as a member of the Utah Jazz, John Stockton did that. So the Jazz will be first, and then we'll work our way down from there. And it falls off a cliff quickly. In terms of
After John Stockton.
number of assists. I mean, there's a few that are good, but he's obviously the most in NBA history. So
I guess I'm Utah.
Yeah, do it.
The Utah Jazz did not do much this offseason. They re-signed Lauri Markkanen to a long-term deal. They signed Drew Eubanks and ancient Patty Mills. They drafted Kyle Filipowski, which was the stiff on Duke. They picked up Coach Will Hardy's option through 2027, so they feel like he's doing a good job.
That's worth 5 wins.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing. They didn't make any changes. Yeah. They're crunch time, I guess. Keontae George, point guard. Colin Sexton. Lauri Markkanen at small forward. Taylor Hendricks, I've never heard of him. I guess he's going to start at power forward. John Collins. They've got Jordan Carson off the bench. He's their third leading scorer last year. And their prospect Walker Kessler, giving you 2.5 blocks a game. So that's probably your 7-man rote. It's the same team. It's the same results. I'm giving them 30 wins.
30 wins. So last year, the Jazz, to remind listeners, were 31-51, which was good enough for 12th in the Western Conference.
They did not make the playoffs.
They did not sniff the play-in.
So I knocked them up a win for no good reason. Probably for the Filipowski.
Well, I'll do you one better. I knocked them 7 wins. I got them at 24.
Whoa!
Why are they going to be... Well, so there's 2 reasons for this. First, what a the only note I have here is what a shitty offseason. You're going to your fan base and saying, here's our 30-win team. Let's roll them back out there. I hate that about teams. And then second, I think the West is very, very good. So I think teams that are at the bottom are going to, unfortunately, lose some wins to those at the top. So I got them at 24. Harper, what do you think?
Okay.
I mean, you only got them one less than me. I had them at 25. I mean, I'm with you. They weren't very interesting last year. The West is super good. I mean, Walker Kessler maybe gets a little bit better, but is that going to spell a bunch of wins in the Western Conference? I don't see it. So, good luck.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not like a bunch of young dudes that are going to get better. It's like dudes that we know what they
Jordan
are
Clarkson
at this point in
is
their career.
32.
Right.
Yeah. Colin Sexton still's got room to improve.
Sure, that's true. Joseph, what does Vegas think of the Utah Jazz?
Vegas is in a similar boat to you guys. 28.5 on the low side.
I took the over, huh? I don't
took
like
the
that.
over.
You took the over.
Can I go ahead and change my number to 28? I haven't had the internet, so I'm going to be able to change these numbers. Is that okay?
Yep. Yep.
All right. Going
Well,
28 and taking the under.
As long as you fill out the form with FEMA, I think it's 246B form, then we can allow it.
I need that in triplicate. It does need to be notarized.
That's right.
And they all have to be faxed. Faxed.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Oh, it's funny because it's true.
all right. So we've got our first consensus under. There we go. Okay. Next up, this person dished out 10,141 assists for the Los Angeles Lakers. You guys know who that is, right?
Is that Magic Johnson?
That is Magic Johnson. Yes. Joey, you're going to tell us about the Lakers and what they did.
Yeah. So the Lakers kind of, after last season, they were 47-35. They finished 8th in the West. They get in to the playoffs via the play-in tournament, but then they're bounced pretty quickly by the Nuggets. This team is a lot of the same players, but they did fire Coach Darvin Ham, and we get to see new coach J.J. Redick in the driver's seat for that one. But this is still LeBron James, and depending on if Colson's paying attention, it's Antonio Davis sometimes, or Anthony Davis.
That's right.
But really, they didn't. I don't think they had any signings. They had 2 draft picks. They picked up Dalton Knecht and somebody named Bronny James. I think I did see Bronny was going to be starting on opening night. They've got, obviously, a lot of... They're maybe a little top-heavy. They've got a new coach in LeBron James. And, yeah, I don't know. I think I've got them at 45.5. It's the double James bump.
The double James bump. Wow.
Yeah.
Harper, what are your thoughts on the Los Angeles Lakers?
Doesn't feel like they got a lot better. Part of me is scared that the extra time spent at the Olympics is going to take some gas out of the tank. But that said, I kind of feel like we're getting down to the very end of the road here for LeBron James to be a really good player in the NBA. So I feel like they're getting closer and closer to last ditch territory land, and they do have some awfully good players. I got them at 48. They can stay healthy. Maybe they get there.
48.
Yeah, because when AD's healthy, like we saw him in the championship game of the NBA Cup, and he was. He just dismantled our team by himself.
Yeah, and the Olympics. I mean, he was just a wrecking ball on defense. My concern is that he had a really healthy year last year.
Always scary.
Yeah, and they still only won 47 games. LeBron, was superhuman for his age. Anthony Davis was really healthy. I had 48, but I'm gonna go low. I'm gonna go 46.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. I was rather low on this team, and I don't know why. I think just because I have a lot of excitement for other teams in the West, so I had them actually falling off to 42 wins, thinking that there's going to be some health issues. I mean, LeBron is literally 40 years old at this point, and I don't know what JJ Redick brings to the team, but sometimes new coach smell.
Coach Smo.
It excites people. So,
And
I'm probably too low.
That, end of LeBron's career, he's got his son on the team now. He's gonna, just gotta prove that he can stay healthy for a whole season, and try to rack up some more wins and some more points. But man, that's an awful lot to ask for LeBron to continue to be LeBron, isn't it? Mm-hmm. At what point does he stop being LeBron?
It's gonna happen at some point. So,
yeah. Definitely didn't happen at the Olympics. So
right.
Good point. Good point. Okay, next up. So that's a split, right? I'm under and you guys are over on the 45.5. Next up, this guy dished out 7,731 assists in his career as a Sacramento King. Do you guys know who it might be?
Mike Bibby?
Nope.
That's what I was going with too.
Now you got to remember the Kings have moved a couple times. They haven't always been in Sacramento. They haven't even always been called the Kings.
Oh, it's Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, good job, Joey.
Nicely
Nice.
done, sir. Cincinnati
O.
Royals.
That's right. So the Kings last year were 46-36. They lost in the play-in tournament. They had an interesting offseason. Their big move was to trade for DeMar DeRozan. So they swapped Chris Duarte and some other stuff for DeMar DeRozan. They also added Jalen McDaniels and drafted a kid, Devin Carter. You know, last year they were waylaid by the injury bug going down the stretch, which really affected their postseason run. But I kind of felt that the DeRozan move didn't give them something that they didn't need, which is another clutch scorer. They kind of already have clutch scoring. They also lost Harrison Barnes and Davion Mitchell, who, you know, wasn't playing huge minutes, but did give good spot defensive minutes on a team where nobody plays defense. So they got rid of their one defensive guy. So they got, you know, it's an interesting cast. It's De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, who, you know, probably will take a leap this year, and Sabonis, and then Malik Monk and Trey Lyles off the bench. They're not going to stop anybody at all. And so the question is, are they going to be able to outscore? And I think they'll do similar to they did last year. So I have them at the same exact record, 46 and 36 is where I got them. Colson, what do you think?
Yeah, I like all your points. I gave him 2 wins for DeMar DeRozan. Just maybe one of those clutch shots at the end of a game. I got him at 48.
Okay. That makes sense.
Interesting. Counterpoint, I took away 2 wins for DeMar DeRozan. Put him at 44.
I think that's fair.
Fair enough. And Joseph, what does Vegas have him at?
This is for
Sacramento Kangs.
Oh yeah, the Kangs. We got him at 46.5.
Wow.
So we split that one too.
Dancing right around it, though. Everybody thinks the same thing. Okay. One of the previews that I read of them was said maybe they're the best team in California, though, which may be the first time that's ever been said about the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, it's possible for them.
Spoiler alert. Okay. So, next up, this guy dished out 7,384 assists for this franchise, which is now in Oklahoma City. Do you guys know who that might be? Who's dished out the most assists in Thunder history?
Is it Gary Payton?
It is Gary Payton. Good call.
I was gonna say.
Do they get to
Nate
keep
McMillan.
I thought they didn't. The Sonics got to keep their.
I think once
history.
if Seattle gets a franchise, then they can reclaim the history. I think that's how it goes.
Okay.
But according to Basketball Reference, Gary Payton is the leader.
Okay.
Russell Hustle and Muscle Westbrook closed on his heels, though. 6,897 assists is the Thunder. Let's see. Harper's got the Thunder. Tell us about those guys.
I do have the Oklahoma City Thunder. So good season for them last year. Good enough to win the West. 57 wins. Didn't do a ton. The most notable difference to the team is no more Josh Giddey. Traded him for Alex Caruso, who should be a really useful piece on that team, Swiss Army knife sort of guy. And the biggest free agent signing in Oklahoma City Thunder history, and Isaiah Hartenstein from the New York Knicks, supplanting previous number one free agent Tupat.
Shots fired.
Really good team. SGA is, as long as healthy, going to be in MVP conversation from game 1 to game 82. If he has any kind of year like last year, he's going to be right in the mix. This is a really, really good team. The youngest team to ever win a conference, average age 24 and change. I mean, this team is scary. This team is dynasty sort of scary. I'm hoping they're still a couple years away. I do think that the West got tougher. They're certainly not sneaking up on somebody. A lot of film on these guys now. And they do have to integrate some new people. I've got them at 53, but, I mean, if they are healthy and push hard, you know, they could have a 60-win team. They're going too soon. I think that, you know, I think they're still a year away. I'm hoping.
53.
Once they get there, they ain't going away.
You're basically just hoping they're
Yeah.
So you really value Josh Giddey, huh? You're taking 4 wins away. I think they had the best offseason maybe of anybody. Like, I think Hartenstein gives them the big that they were missing. Caruso gives them a little bit of not only defense, but insurance against, Jalen Williams if he goes down for a bit. I just think they're deep as all get out. And I think they are a 60-win team this year. What do you think, Colson?
So you give me exactly 60, are you?
Exactly 60, yeah.
Okay, I've got them at 59.
Do you think they are my best team in the West? Are they your best team in the West?
Yes. I did have them at 60. But now I've got them at 59.
Gotcha. You don't want to go over, huh?
Yeah, I'm not convinced that they're a 61, 62 win team. I mean, they could be for sure. I really like the Alex Caruso pickup and the Hartenstein. Yeah, they're fantastic, and they got all that experience being out in front last year. Might as well keep it up.
Yep. Joey, what does Vegas think?
So, do have them as the best team in the West, but at a lower 55.5. Still cruising. And yeah, man, it was a great team with some good pickups. It's going to be fun.
All right. Well, that's another split for us. Next up, this dude dished out 6,997 assists for the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns.
That's Steve Nash?
It is Steve Nash. Kevin Johnson, not far behind, at 6,518. But it was Steven Nash. Colson is going to tell us about the Suns.
Yeah, what'd they do last year? I don't have that written down.
They went 49-33 and then got swept out of the first round of the playoffs by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They had a nice offseason. They picked up Mason Plumlee, a veteran backup big, and they re-signed Royce O'Neal and Josh Okogie. They'd gotten Royce O'Neal in a trade mid-season and played well for them. And then they went out and got Tyus Jones, who was considered one of the best point guards in the league and underused. And this kid's putting up crazy PERs and assist to turnover ratio stuff. People are really excited about him because they now actually have a point guard instead of making Bradley Beal or Devin Booker do it. But the biggest offseason move is that they hired Coach Bud. Mike Budenholzer is now their coach, and he's a pretty good coach. He did some great things in Milwaukee, and I think this is going to be a really good team. I think this is going to be the year that everybody thought last year was going to be. So they got their crunch time. I got Tyus Jones, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Josef Nurkic. Like that's not bad. With Plumlee and Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen coming off the bench. Bowl is hanging out there just in case you need another crazy, scrawny big guy. Yeah, I think this team improved. I think it's the third best team in the West. I've got them at 56 wins.
56. Wowza. Harper, what do you think?
I think Colson likes Tyus Jones a lot more than I do. They got Bradley Beal on their team. I got him at 50.
50.
That doesn't hurt my feelings.
I was also feeling the... I kind of forgot that they have Bud as their coach, so this number's even lower than yours, Harper. But, yeah, so Beal's games played over the last 5 years. 57, 60, 40, 50, 53. Dude doesn't even play 3/4 of the season. So, and I feel like Durant's always good for a 3 to 6 week injury at some point during the year. That's just a lot to ask.
Grayson Allen's going to get suspended for a while at some point.
Sure. Apparently, Bud has Nurkic trying to shoot threes. He's trying to work that into his game, so we'll see how that works out. I got him at 48 wins. I think they're...
Boy, if that's what you're hanging your hat on, Phoenix, it's going to be a long year.
We'll see. We'll see.
I love this. We got him at 46 and a half.
Wow.
Oh, my.
So we're all
we are
still
consensus over on that?
This is over.
I mean, look,
How did that
man.
happen?
I think basically the top players on that team and how do they perform when they're the top dogs, and I think it's about like this. Yeah, I mean there's injuries and there's leadership issues and there's a lot of talent, like raw talent on paper, but this team is not a functional unit. Maybe Bud can fix some of that, but yeah, we're not going real far.
I mean, I think everybody was excited about all the big names last year, and they ended up being, fairly mediocre. But people were largely injured and only played half the season, and they still won 47 games.
Well, I mean, people were excited about the Durant Brooklyn Nets too, and what did they do?
Yeah, they won 49 games. They almost won 50 games last year, just fucking around, which is a good point. But I also think, I don't know.
Coach Bud, man, he's got a plan. He's got a vision.
Who plays defense on that team? Is Durant their rim defender?
Durant's a good defender.
Yeah, Durant's for sure their rim defender.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm doubting.
And
Durant too
they
much.
got Mason Plumlee now.
Oh, that's a good point. I like how you led with
Whatever,
that.
you took the over, man.
That's a good point.
Are you
I
saying
did take the-
Plumlee is like the? What's your point on Plumlee? He's a rim defender.
He's a big body that does stuff.
That's factually correct.
He's almost always breathing.
This is why they come to me for this analysis, right? That's why the listeners wait on Colson to talk about basketball players doing things.
I want to see that
Being big.
I want to see that on Mason Plumlee's basketball card. It says "Big body does stuff."
That's the scouting report. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, the San Antonio Spurs. Top assist guy dished out 6,829 assists in his career as a Spur.
Guess it's got to be Tony Parker.
Tony Parker. Well done. Yeah, this is really easy. You guys are really good at this.
Yeah.
Okay, who's got the Spurs? Oh, Joey. Joey's got the Spurs.
That's me.
Of course has the Spurs.
So, yeah, the first thing in the scouting report is go Spurs, go. Last season, they needed more of that because they were 14th in the West at 22-60. They were not even close enough to see the play-in game. But we had a very young team. Of course, this was Victor Wembanyama's rookie season, and he did win Rookie of the Year. He was freaking amazing on both ends of the court. He is going to be the focus, of course. Popovich is still there and recently re-signed a new contract. We've got Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sochan are the the centerpieces going forward, along with Wembanyama. They signed Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, and they're going with the playoffs or bust for this season. I think the Spurs, with a Wembanyama that has a year of NBA basketball under him and some good offseason stuff, you don't want Chris Paul really in the locker room in the playoffs, but during the regular season he knows what he's doing out there. Sure. So this season we've got him on an uptick at 35.5 at Vegas.
It's a big uptick.
Yeah, so up 13 games.
Okay.
With room to grow.
So they really think that Chris Paul is actually going to play more than 40 games or something?
No, Pop's too smart for that. But he can still hang out in the locker room, right? And he can talk.
They think Wembanyama can win 34 games, and the rest of the team can figure out I'll win at some point.
Okay.
I think they're banking on Chris Paul playing at least 25 games, and therefore can, in those 25 games, give entry passes to Victor Wembanyama.
Okay.
I mean, I could give entry passes to Victor Wembanyama.
They
Throw it
couldn't
you
last
can.
year.
You just
I
throw it as high
disagree.
as
They
you
just
can.
threw it really high
And he goes and gets it, and then
and then dunk.
we're good.
I think Chris Paul's going to make his life a lot easier
I agree with that,
for the few games and minutes he plays.
but 13 wins bigger? I don't know. I mean, I agree that they're going to be good. I think that the West is ridiculously tough. Wembanyama definitely is a obviously special thing, and I'm probably underselling him. But I wasn't too excited. I mean, about the dudes around him. But so I have him at 31. I have him under that number. Colson, what do you think?
Yeah, I had him. I thought it was a big uptick. I had him at 32.
Okay.
And then Vegas is out here giving out 35.5.
Have you seen Wembanyama play?
I have, and I gave him an extra 10 wins. I mean, I feel like I'm doing doing right by him.
Mm-hmm.
When I my first rough draft, I had him at 37 or 38. I can't remember. But as you look around the West, they're a team that I kept taking wins away from. I ended up at 35, which makes it a consensus under. I understand the excitement. I could see them. I mean, if it's playoff or bust, it's probably bust. But, with the future that this team potentially has around Wembanyama, I think they only need a few more pieces through draft or free agency to be a really, really, really good team. Wembanyama may just win DPOY this year in his sophomore campaign.
Well, I think, there's been a bunch of pushback from Gobert because there's this narrative that he doesn't deserve these DPOYs has not gone away, and he's pretty salty about it. But I think there's some fatigue from voters wanting to vote for Gobert. But we also just seen Wembanyama basically just shut things down on the defensive side and then start his own break. And the best defense is a good defense and a good offense at the same time, I think is the saying.
Yeah. The best defense is to be built in a laboratory.
Yes.
And do superhuman things all night, every night.
No, yeah. I mean,
I do that, but that's different.
Conventional.
Sorry, that's a different story.
Conventional NBA wisdom is that big guys take a few years to develop, especially on the defensive end, because they need to put on weight and learn how the game is played, keep up with the speed. But Wembanyama as a rookie was out there scaring people away from coming into the paint. Yeah. Blocking dudes' shots
people just wouldn't go in there.
Multiple times in a row. Led the league in blocks.
Yeah.
He's an alien. Yeah.
He blocked a Chet Holmgren fadeaway. What is that?
All right. Oh, this is gonna be exciting.
It's gonna be fun.
Basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's a fun team to watch.
All right. Next up is the Golden State Warriors. Their leading assister has dished out 6,119 assists in his career. Any guesses on who this is?
Go with the low-hanging fruit. Steph Curry.
Got it. Yeah.
Well done.
Got it in one.
Let's see. I had the Warriors. Okay, last year the Warriors had a decent season, went 46-36, but lost in the play-in. So we're absent from the playoffs. If you'll remember, they lost Draymond Green for a good chunk of the season last year. He was suspended indefinitely at one point before coming back. Busy offseason. We're starting to see a change in eras here for the Golden State Warriors. So as you mentioned previously, Joey, Chris Paul is gone, although that experiment was not very successful at all. Dario Saric is gone, and the biggest name that's gone is Klay Thompson, who is now signed with the Dallas Mavericks. To replace Klay's shooting, the Warriors signed Buddy Hield. And they also brought in, to replace his defense, Kyle Anderson. Takes two guys to replace those things. The one thing that one guy could do. They also have DeAnthony Melton. So their crunch time five is probably going to be Curry, the Podjawinski guy, whose name I can never pronounce, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green. Buddy Hield's there. Kyle Anderson will play some. Gary Payton II will play some. I'm sure there's other guys. Oh, I'm forgetting Trace Jackson Davis, who had a very nice year last year. They will be good. I mean, Curry's freaking amazing. They're going to score points. They're going to move the ball. Draymond Green's going to punch a couple guys at some point.
Hopefully not guys on his team.
Hopefully not dudes on his team. Kuminga made a big
No promises.
jump last year. I just feel like they aren't going to be able to get stops the way that they used to get. I don't think Draymond Green's amazing, but I don't know that he's going to be able to quarterback that defense the way that he did in the past. The other big question mark with them is Andrew Wiggins, and what is he? I mean, 2 years ago, he was the second best player on a championship team. Or was that 3 years ago? 3 years ago? 3 years ago now, yeah. And since then, he's kind of been MIA. And so that's huge for them. I have them on a downtick this year, again, because I like other teams in the Western Conference. So I have them, they feel like a 500 team to me. So I'm at 41 wins. Let's see. Let's go to Harper next.
I'm a little bit higher on this team. The other guy that's out there I don't think that you mentioned is Moses Moody. They've actually got some young guys who could potentially get better, and I think Buddy Hield is a great fit. I've got him at 45. That's probably towards the higher end of things. I also just think that Draymond Green, if somebody didn't get in his ear and told him he needed to show up and prove himself this year, then his team failed him. And this team might kerplode in the offseason. So I think he's got his work cut out for him and needs to have a good season. So I think they can hold strong and make some noise during the regular season. I think they're going to get hurt come playoff time because there's just so much better talent out there. But this is a skilled and veteran team.
That's true. Colson, what do you think?
Yeah, this team has won multiple championships. They know how to play basketball. I do think that they've lost the step. I'm not sure I don't know if these new kids are another era of championship teams, I guess. And but as long as you got Steph Curry, and you're going to win more than half your games. So I got them at 42.
That's fair.
Good number. No, split.
Yeah, Joey, what's Vegas got him at?
Yeah, not far off from there. 43.5 games for the Dubs.
Yeah.
We're gonna get what we get every year, which is a bunch of absurd stuff from Curry, and we're gonna get a bunch of drama from Draymond, where he's gonna be doing something absolutely unforgivable out there, and he's gonna be in discussions with Silver again, because it's innate to who he is.
All right, let's do one more, and then we'll take a little break, cleanse our palate a little bit. So, closing out the half are the Portland Trail Blazers. Their leading assist man has dished out 5,319 assists. Got pretty much two options here. Which do you think it is?
Is it Mighty Mouse?
No.
Or Lillard.
No. Dame was
Terry
second.
Porter.
Terry Porter, yeah. Dame was very close. 51,
Nicely done.
51. He dished out. But then he left. Harper, tell us about what's happening in the Great North Woods.
Well, the Portland Trail Blazers were not real good last year. They were the worst team in the Western Conference with 21 wins. And didn't do a whole heck of a lot to change their face this season. They are going to roll out a starting five of most likely Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons. They did pick up Denny Avdija.
Yeah, Abdia.
Got me.
Sounds good.
Yep. They've got a Jeremy Grant they can't get rid of. They've got still got DeAndre Ayton. They drafted Donovan Clingan, super large human being who could potentially be useful for them at the center spot. For some reason, they also have Robert Williams there, so they have like 5 centers. Matisse Thybulle's out there, Devontae Graham. Not sure what's going on. Pretty sure a couple things are happening, though. One, GM's about to get fired because I don't understand what's happening at all. Probably will see some growth out of the younger guys on the team. But it's hard to see these guys winning many games in an increasingly tough conference. I felt pretty generous at 25 and expect to be the high man because I'm a fanboy.
Colson.
Yeah, boy. This is one of those where it's like, you did nothing? Really? You did nothing? I mean,
Denny Avdija.
Sure, yeah, and the Klingham guy. I don't know.
Klingon.
Might as well just bring a bunch of tribbles in or whatever.
The Scoot Henderson kind of had a tough year last year, and I think he'll be better. But I don't like the makeup of this team. I don't like very many of the guys on this team. I'm giving them 18 wins.
How many? 18?
How many?
18.
18.
18.
That's like Detroit Pistons bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. There's not a lot of hope out there.
Well, and the thing is that in the Western Conference, there's like a bunch of good teams, and then there's 2 bad teams. There's the Blazers and the Jazz, and they're just going to get the snot beat out of them every night.
Just every night.
I will say that
because you got to have that win, right?
Yeah. You're going to like Denny Avdia more than you think. Like, he was a Wizard, and he plays hard. He's bigger than you think. He can shoot.
He was like a 9th overall draft pick or something. Like, he's decent.
Yeah, he can play. But yeah, I mean, it's a mess out there. And who knows? I mean, how long is Chauncey Billups going to be their coach? Like, how long is the leash that he gets? Like,
Yeah, no, but the GM's going to be gone. The coach is going to be gone.
Yeah.
It's going to screw up the season.
I had him at 25, and as you were talking, I knocked him down to 23. So yeah, I'll stick with 23. I think that's fine. What's Vegas got him at, Joey?
Yeah, real close to there at 22 and a half.
Okay, so I make it a split, huh?
Yeah.
I'm
probably
fine
smart.
with that.
Yeah. It's probably smart.
Harper's the fanboy.
So they won 21 games last year, and they swept the Pacers. They beat us twice. All right. We are about halfway through this Western Conference. We're making good time, I would say. Let's take a little break, refresh our beverages, and think about what we've done with ourselves over this first half of the Western Conference.
Ugh. We are back from the break. Jason, who are the early winners and losers? Sounds like the Trailblazers are the early losers.
Yeah. I mean, but mostly Harper's a loser. He's made some horrible picks so far.
Oh no!
It's just so high on the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt me.
I was gonna pick on Colson, but then I felt bad because he's in the apocalypse. So, sorry. Harper. Sometimes you gotta take one for the team.
Hey,
you know?
let me ride this for at least a couple weeks.
And the problem is, if he does a spit take with water, that's like valuable fluid.
That's right. Yeah.
He needs to hold on to that stuff.
Let's see. Okay, so we left off with the amazing Portland Trailblazers. So let's do a complete 180 and talk about the Dallas Mavericks, who lost in the NBA Finals last year. Mavericks leading assist man, 5,111 assists dished out by this gentleman for the Dallas Mavericks. Guesses?
Is it Steve Nash?
No, it is not Steve Nash. Good guess.
Let's go Dirk.
Dirk is incorrect. Harper, what'd you say? Jason Kidd?
Jason Kidd.
Also incorrect. These are all good guesses, but
Interesting.
correct. This is probably the hardest one. This dude
Trying.
also used to play for the New York Knickerbockers. It's probably how we best know him in those Pacers-Knicks rivalry games.
Ron Harper.
Close. Derek Harper. Yes.
The other Harper.
The other Harper.
Harper, how did you not get this?
I know, right?
These are your people.
These are your people.
All right. Colson, I believe you are
It's not a good day, as previously stated. Having a rough day.
That's right. More demerits for you.
Last season the Mavericks won 47 games, and they lost to the Celtics in the NBA Finals. They were the 5th seed going into the playoffs, got all the way up to the finals. The 47 wins sounds good, but they went 16-2 to finish the season last year. This team was much better after the trade deadline when they picked up P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford. They were just giving away good big men, apparently, at the trade deadline, and they just took them all. So I think this team's going to be better than it was last year as far as the win totals go, because not only do they have a good team that clearly got better and got all the way to the finals last year, but they made some good offseason moves. Most importantly, they picked up Klay Thompson, as previously mentioned, from the Golden State Warriors, and Najee Marshall, who's a very versatile defender who can guard lots of positions on the floor. They now have Luka, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson. It's somebody's going to be open, and somebody's going to hit a shot. I like the 1-2 punch of Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively up front. I am leaning on my friend Patrick on this one, who's a huge Mavs fan, but I promised him I'd give his number, and I'm actually not that mad at it. 58 wins.
Oh.
That was my number.
No.
I think so. Here's my thesis of what's going on in the Western Conference this year.
58.
I think there are.
Joey's all confused.
I think that there are two teams that are above the rest, and then there's a whole cluster of really, really good teams in the high 40s to mid 50s win range. And I think those two teams are the Thunder and the Mavericks are the top two teams in the West. I just love how deep this team is. I think that they have a dude in Doncic that's going to be an MVP type guy. Klay Thompson isn't what Klay Thompson used to be, but if all he has to do is catch wide open passes and shoot threes, he can do that. They don't, they're going to rely on Gafford and Lively to just clean up defensive mistakes at the rim, and they can do that relatively well. So yeah, I'll go up. I'll give him 59.
I love it.
Harper, what you got?
There is just no way I could ever be that high on a Kyrie Irving team. It's just one of the rules of the universe that cannot be crossed. On paper, they should be better, but they weren't that good most of last year. And ripping off a 16-2 win streak is not something that you can count on happening every year. Their ride through the playoffs was incredible, but also felt really unlikely to me the entire time that it was happening. Luka is incredible, but they rely on him a lot. Like I said, I'm waiting for Kyrie to kerplode this team, just like I do with all of his teams. So I've got him flat. I've just got him at 50.
Okay.
They're not in my top 2 tier.
Okay.
The Thunder are. They are not.
Interesting. Okay. Joseph, where does Vegas have the Mavs?
They are a tick up from Harper at 50.5.
Interesting.
Kyrie Irving is detrimental to winning. Unless LeBron James is on your team.
Okay.
And last I checked,
all the Bronnies are on one team.
I think I did see something that like Kyrie was like trying to talk up LeBron to leave LA to come to Dallas, and I got news for you, my friend. That ain't happening. You don't recruit LeBron James.
Love the ambition.
Sure.
Alright, so we're in a split there. It's been a while since we've had a consensus. Maybe this one will do it. Next up are the Houston Rockets. We're going to stick in Texas. Any guesses at the person that has dished out the most assists in a Rockets uniform? 4,796 of them. A guy you've heard of.
As a Rafer Alston, skip to my Lou.
Still doing things in the league. Skip to my Lou. Come on now.
How about just a James Harden?
James Harden is correct. Well done, Harper. Ding, ding,
Yay!
Oh, okay, yeah.
You've heard of this guy.
Well, their second place guy is Calvin Murphy. Who maybe you've heard of.
I've maybe heard of him, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Joseph is going to tell us about the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, so last year the Rockets were all right. They were 41-41. Ime Udoka is at the helm. The team it's a lot of young dudes, and I think they did well for the amount of experience they have. They are rolling with Jalen Green, Sengun, Jabari Smith. Their probably big off-season pickup was Steven Adams. So he's a big dude. He does stuff, right, Colson?
He does stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen him do things.
And he is big.
So he is certainly big and very sweaty. So I'll say Houston is sitting at, where are we at? 42.5, up a tick. So they're above 500 this year, which I disagree with, but that's what Vegas says.
Harper, what do you think?
I think that is interesting. I really thought Vegas would be a little bit higher on them. I notched him at 44. This team is starting to feel pretty darn deep to me. Amen Thompson may turn into something for them. I don't know who their best player is necessarily. And so it's going to be an interesting season for them. But I think that, they're not ready to take the big step yet. I think that comes next year. But this year is about, identity formation, figuring out who they are and how they're going to succeed. I think they got the right coach for it. I honestly felt like I was a little bit low, so I was surprised to find Vegas under me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was right there around you. I was at 45. I think Şengün's their best player. He should be healthy.
Probably, right?
He went down with an injury. Jalen Green kind of turned into an NBA player last year. I love Cam Whitmore.
Jabari Smith may be their best player by the end of the year.
Yeah, could make a leap this year. Fred VanVleet's just a steady hand. Dylan Brooks is an agitator. I mean,
whatever.
They're going to be good. I think they're a playoff team, at least a play-in team this year. Colson, what you got?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I felt like this team is a young team that's improving, and you kind of think of those as a young team that's getting better and going to make a step. Their goal is to win 5 games more than they did the previous season. At least that's what we'd be saying if we were, if this was the Pacers. So I'm going to give them 46.
Wow,
yeah.
There we go.
They also have Aaron Holiday,
right?
And
they got winners.
And they drafted Cam Whitmore, who I was on the short list of guys I wanted to draft with our pick last year, who was impressive last year. It was a good team.
All right, next up, the Denver Nuggets. Leading assister, 4,667 of them. This gentleman is dished out.
Mark Jackson.
No, not Mark Jackson.
Ooh, good guess.
Good guess.
Is it Jokic?
It is Jokic.
Was it Melo?
It's already Jokic? That's
Yes.
awesome.
I was going to say Melo was there for a long time, but he don't pass the ball.
Yeah.
The Denver Nuggets. Last year went 57-25, lost in the second round in dramatic fashion, being up 20 points in a Game 7 at home to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and went on to lose that game somehow. They had yet another, I would say, rough offseason. They lost KCP, who signed with Orlando. Also lost Reggie Jackson, but that's not that big of a deal. They brought in Russell Westbrook, and Dario Saric, who's somehow still playing. And some more rookies that hopefully will fill some minutes. They've got crunch time 5 of Jamal Murray, Christian Braun, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. The basically championship lineup, except Braun instead of one Brown instead of another Brown. Westbrook off the bench. Peyton Watson showed himself last year as a rookie. Hopefully he makes a step. Saric probably will play some minutes. Big news in the offseason, Jamal Murray got paid, got his extension. The Westbrook signing is interesting. He's been much maligned over the last few years, but at least he can give you minutes. He can give 15 to 20 minutes a game. Give Murray a little bit of rest. I think their biggest need is they need another big to deal with the Timberwolves, because that's going to be their main competition, I think. I see them in a bit of a downtick this year. I just don't. Their depth is horrid at this point. I know Jokic is Jokic, but I think this attrition of talent is going to finally catch up with them. And so I have them at 51 wins this year.
Yeah.
Colson, what you got?
They just lose. Yeah, they lose. Important championship guys every offseason now, and they're not really adding anybody. They somehow won 57 games last year, though. So
Turns out Jokic is very good at basketball.
yeah, but I mean that's just so many wins. With that, and they'd lost depth the season before. I had them at 52, and I'm fine with sticking there.
You know you're a good team when
Yeah.
people are like, they are not doing good. 50 plus wins, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just it. They did lose talent the year before, and they still won 57. And it's because that starting five is wicked good. And everybody who comes to their house has to play a mile above sea level. And it's hard to do that night in and night out in the NBA. This team's going to be on a mission this year. After that collapse in the playoffs, they're going to be unhappy. That's going to leave one hell of a bad taste in their mouth. So I got them back at 57.
I like it.
I like that too.
Does that mean Jokic is going to win another MVP in your mind?
There's a really good chance of that happening.
So that would be 4 in 5 years, which is what LeBron did, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And what, Kareem, and that's it? I mean, Bill Russell won 4, maybe. I don't know. I feel like he won 4. We're running out of guys, though, that did that.
Maybe Jordan. Did Jordan do 4 in 5 years?
He did 4 in like 7 years, I think.
6 or 7.
6 years. Yeah, because he took those 2 years off.
Oh, that's right. All right, Joey, what does Vegas have them at?
Play baseball? Vegas has Denver at 52.5. Yeah, these guys are driving the struggle bus at 52.5.
Yeah, poor Denver fans.
But the good news is, the struggle bus is in the mountains and no one can keep up with them. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah, they are. I've got them at second in the West.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man, these guys are fantastic, and they're starting to hit the Jokic and crew, Jamal Murray. These guys are starting to hit the stride where they don't have to win all the regular season games. They know who they are at this point. The playoffs are what matter more. So you can take your foot off the gas a little bit in the regular season, and they know what that playoff gear is like at this point, and they just need to run strong into the playoffs, and that's where the magic happens.
Next up, coming down to the home stretch here, guys, already. The Memphis Grizzlies. Leading assister for the Grizz.
Mike Conley.
Nailed it, yeah. 4,509.
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter. Let's see, Harper's got the Grizz.
I do, yeah. Not a very good year for the old Grizz last year, with Ja Morant being suspended for 25 games before a season-ending injury. They packed it in early. They also had some other guys get bit by the injury bug. They ended up winning 27. However, the year before that, this team won 51 games. So there's some talent, and I think that they expect to get back into form this year. They will likely be pushing out a starting lineup of Ja Morant, Marcus Smart now on that team, Desmond Bane. 4 is a little bit of a question mark, probably Santi Aldama, and then Jaren Jackson, who is good enough defensively, probably to play 2 positions. They also signed Luke Kennard. They've got Scottie Pippen Jr. And they drafted Zach Edey from Purdue, who's like 7'4". So another very large human who does things and probably sweats a lot, if I had to guess.
Well, these guys do everything.
I mean, the real question here is just how quickly can these guys round into form, and can they stay healthy? I mean, that's always a question for every NBA team. can they stay healthy? But this team hasn't played together in over a season now, so it'll be interesting to see if they can pull it together quickly. If they do, they could be really dangerous. Ja Morant could easily come back and insert himself in the MVP conversation, which will probably be necessary if he wants his team to be a deep playoff contender in this Western Conference. I have them at 44, but this team is definitely the biggest question mark for me.
Yeah, Colson, what you got?
Yeah, I had no idea what to do with this team because whatever it was 2 years ago, they were a 50 some odd win team. Feels like there's dysfunction there. I mean, I don't know if Ja Morant can right his career and right this ship. I don't know what this looks like, but they've still got the guys that got them 50 wins the other year. So I've got them exactly at 41 because I didn't know what to do. I figured they could win half their games.
So you punted?
Yep, I punted.
Attaboy.
No plan.
Apocalypse, dude. No problem.
Everybody gets 41 this year.
Yay.
Joey, can I know what the Vegas number is before I give mine?
Sure. The Vegas number for Memphis is 45.5.
5.5. Okay. Well, I was already under.
With a bullet.
I had 44. So I will go down one. I have to take a win away from somebody, so might as well take away from the Grizz. Yeah, this team's not as deep as I thought they were. Like you look at your roster and they're like, Brandon Clark is another name that didn't get mentioned, but outside of that, it's like not that.
I agree.
Not that many NBA guys on that roster.
I thought they had more stuff.
Their coach is amazing. I love their coach. And, of course, it's all up to Ja, right? Like, if he comes and he's playing like Ja Morant of 2 years ago, then sure, I could believe 45.5. But he gets injured for 10 games a year, at least. And then, yeah, hopefully he just stays off of TikTok or Facebook or whatever, right?
Or maybe
all right, so that's a consensus under we got there.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's good.
All right, next up, the New Orleans Pelicans. Who do you guys think is the leading assister for the New Orleans Pelicans?
Is it Chris Paul?
It is.
It was say Chris Paul.
4,228 assists. Colson's on this one.
Last year, the Pelicans went 49-33. Is that right? And that can't be right.
That's
right.
correct.
That's a thing that happened.
That took them to the play-in.
Yep.
Wow.
Western
They had to
Conference
win a lot of games last year.
Gonna have to win a lot of games this year.
they lost the play-in to the Lakers. Oh, poor bastards. So anyway, in the offseason, they traded all their things. They traded Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance. There's a Zeller in there, and a Liddell, I think, and a bunch of draft picks for DeJounte Murray. They're all in on DeJounte Murray. He's the missing piece, I suppose, because they give away a lot of stuff for him. The other thing is that Brandon Ingram and the team can't agree on a contract extension. He's getting paid $36 million this year, and he's up for a 4-year extension that they don't want to give him, but he thinks he deserves. They both want to stay on the team. He wants to stay on the team, he says. So they're just going to wait it out, is what the GM said, which doesn't seem great. And I just don't know. I don't know if I trust this team. They lost Jonas Valanciunas in the offseason, and they're replacing him with a rookie. It's Missy is his name. He's the 21st pick. He's a big dude, and apparently he does stuff. I don't know, but I don't like starting a rookie at all, and then thinking you're going to do something. They might start Daniel Tice. They picked him up, for some veteran presence, depending on how the rookie does. Can Zion stay healthy? Can he stay in shape? Murray and McCollum CJ McCollum in the backcourt. I love Jose Alvarez or Alvarado and Herb Jones off their bench, but I just don't know. I don't know how they won 49 games last year, and I'm not sure DeJounte Murray was the answer to whatever question they had. It's just another guy that needs the ball, and they have a lot of guys that need the ball. So I dropped them from last year to 45 wins.
45. That's exactly the number that I came up with. Yeah, I think they're worse with Murray. I don't know. I mean, so the caveat here, as always, is Zion Williamson, the super duper all NBA guy that he's capable of being this year.
Who put up 40 points in the play-in game.
He certainly did some awesome things last year. And all reports say he's coming into camp in the best shape of his life, which is always a good sign. So I will...
He looks so amazing at the end of the season.
Yeah. I will tick them up to 46, just to be a positive Pete here. Try to get them some more wins. I like a lot of their guys individually. I don't know if they all fit together on the same basketball court together, though. Harper, what do you got?
I'm a lot higher on this team than you guys. I think I like how, first of all, Alvarado plays incredibly hard. He's a really good guy to have on your team. Yeah. And I think Murray's an upgrade off what he brought to the team. Brandon Ingram is in a contract year, so he's going to be bringing it because he wants to get paid. They are going to be a terror in the regular season, I think. I got him at 50, which, as it turns out, is not much of an uptick, but it seems like too many wins, right?
Sure, yeah.
I think that's very possible. I see a version of the world where that happens, for sure.
When Zion is healthy, he is a very good basketball player.
I just was looking at him, I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me. I just don't know. I don't know how this is all going to work, and... there are people that get paid more than I do to figure that stuff out. So
true, yeah.
Got some shooting.
They got some shooting, and they got playmakers. So yeah, I should be higher on this team than I am. But Joey, what do you think? What is Vegas?
Rookie center is not great. Not great.
Nah, but
Vegas has
centers. Nobody has a center these days. Who cares?
Yeah.
Sorry, what'd you say, Joe?
That's true. Vegas got him at 46 and a half.
Oh, so we're
jeez.
We're dancing around it.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, and for a small market, add 3, right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, home stretch. We got 2 left, guys. How we feeling? We're doing good. Doing good.
Good.
All right.
My neck is a little sore. But...
I feel like my game improved in the second half.
I agree. Early returns are an improvement, but hey, you got to close it out. It all comes down to the last 5 minutes of the game. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Minnesota Timberwolves. Who's the leading assister in Minnesota Timberwolves history?
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, nailed it, Joey. Well done. 4,216 of those bad boys. Joey has the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is probably why he knew that answer, because he knows everything about that franchise.
Nope. Oh, yeah. I do. I know that. Here's some things that I know about them. Last season, 56-26, third in the West. I know that they lost in the Western Conference Finals to the eventual finals losers, Dallas Mavericks. The biggest, I guess this probably happened since our Where That Player At was a big honkin' trade. The Big Cat was shipped out of Minnesota to New York in exchange mostly for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. This is Edwards' team. Yeah, that guy is freaking out of control good. And they were good last year, but I think that what they saw was a team that they want to get, to the next step. And they were good and great, and Big Cat was very long time, solid contributor for them. But I got him this upcoming season at 52.5. A downtick from last year, but I think the team is maybe a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. That's surprisingly low to me. Harper, what you got?
I got him at 54. This is still a really good defensive team, and I don't know. We've talked many times about how we were never really convinced that the Twin Tower experiment made a lot of sense in the modern NBA, and so it's not super surprising that they finally put a kibosh on it. Karl Anthony Towns is a really good player, and I don't love that he's in my conference now, especially when Julius Randle didn't play any games last year. But I think this, like I said, defense is going to travel. This is a good team. And Anthony Edwards seems like he does a good job getting his team up to play. So I think they're plenty dangerous.
Yeah, Edwards is the truth, and they're going to go as far as he takes them. But man, them just picking up Dante DiVincenzo in that Big Cat trade. I mean, that's just a guy who's going to add a couple wins to your season total, just from being
Can't have
annoying.
too much shooting.
Yeah, and just being a pesky defender and the Big Cat trade for Julius Randle, I don't quite get it for either team, but I don't know. I don't know why the Knicks want a big that can't play defense, but whatever. It's for next week's pod. I really like this team. I think they're going to win 56 games again.
56. Well, I had 55 written down, but that boxes me in.
Can't blame us for that.
No, that's true. I like this team. I think that, like you said, DiVincenzo gives them things. Naz Reid was a real player last year. I mean, there were some people that thought that
sure was.
They might have been better with Naz Reid than with Karl Anthony Towns in the lineup. They're going to have to figure out some things with the geometry with Randall on the floor, and he can be kind of a black hole with the ball. Cat provided them a lot of shooting, actually. He's a really good three-point shooter, and to stretch the floor as a big like that helped create space for Edwards to do some of the amazing things that he did. Weirdly, a lot is riding on Mike Conley's health. Like, when he plays, they're really, really good. Mm-hmm. And when he doesn't, then there's not really a person to take his minutes.
And there's Rob Dillingham.
Yeah, who's like a pure scorer dude, who they are excited about.
Can I change my number?
You want to change your number now, huh?
I'm going to go down to 53.
Okay. That sounds good. No, I'm not blocked in. Perfect. I didn't have to do anything.
Now I'm blocked in.
I opened myself up.
I see how it is.
Nice.
Just keep talking shit and I'll drop them further. It'll be fine.
We're still all over on this team, though, compared to Vegas.
Yeah.
There's still consensus over. But that's not surprising for a small market team with some talent, right?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Last team, the Los Angeles Clippers. Leading assister for the Clippers is
DeAndre Jordan.
Nailed it. How'd you know?
Is it Chris Paul
again?
It's Chris Paul again. Yeah.
Wow.
Dished out 4,023 assists as a Clipper. The Clippers last year were 51-31. They lost in the first round of the playoffs.
And in the offseason.
Paul George could not come to terms with the team, so he signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. He gone. Russell Westbrook, he gone. Daniel Tice, as you mentioned, he gone. They brought in Mo Bamba for some reason, and Nicholas Batum. I think that was part of the sign and trade for Paul George. You're looking at a lineup of James Harden, Terrence Mann, Kawhi Leonard, Derek Jones, and Zubac, with Norm Powell and Bones Highland probably giving the most minutes off the bench there. They're in a new arena this year, which, let me give you a fun fact about the Intuit Dome. If you haven't seen pictures of the Intuit Dome, look it up. It's a pretty cool looking building, actually. They are going to have over 1,100 toilets and urinals in the arena, which is three times the league average. They are going to have a double-sided halo board, similar to the one at SoFi Stadium. It covers 38,375 square feet at 4K resolution. And the Halo boards are also installed with t-shirt cannons capable of launching merchandise into the upper levels of the arena, which I thought that was cool.
Nice.
And then they have this other...
Yeah, I think Ballmer was behind the t-shirt cannon thing. I think he's... I think I heard something. He was saying that it was like not fair that the old t-shirt cannons could only get to the expensive seats.
Yeah. He's not wrong.
So he fixed it.
Old Steve
That's
Ballmer,
awesome.
man of the people.
There's just something odd about cannons from that high up, like shooting down at people. It feels very sniper-esque, and I feel like there's going to be at least 3 grandmothers get socked in the side of the head with a t-shirt or something.
There's an armed TV at their stadium. It's weird.
Yeah. And then they also have this cool feature of the way the arena is set up. They have a section known as the Wall, quote unquote, which is patterned after the yellow wall of Borussia Dortmund, where it is 51 consecutive rows with no suites. Sorry, it's on the baseline adjacent to the visitors' bench, and it is somehow exclusively reserved for Clippers fans. So you got that, right? You also have a new logo. Bye Bye Clippy, the paperclip guy. We now have a logo that looks like a steamship kind of thing, or like a boat. But the same old unpredictability. Especially as it goes for our man Kawhi Leonard's status. He, if you'll remember, exited the postseason with some knee troubles. He is still battling knee troubles. He had to leave Team USA in the summer because of knee troubles. And I have no confidence that he plays 60 games this year. He also apparently just throws his teammates under the bus and his ex-teammates. When asked about whether or not Paul George, he was going to miss Paul George, he basically was like, I don't care. Whatever my team... it doesn't matter who my teammates are. I just do what I do, basically, is what he said. It's like, way to go. And then Harper shared me a quote from training camp where they asked him, who's really been standing out in training camp? And he paused for a long time and then said, well, I just like watching the new guys get, from day to day to day, getting better. But nobody's really stood out, Here's a softball, Kawhi. I don't like this team. I got them at 38 wins. I think they're the weird mediocre team. Colson, what you got?
I was realizing that when Kawhi's out, which he's going to be out most of the season, this is just James Harden running around with like a bunch of 6'3" guys around him.
And Zubats.
And then Zubats. Like they just got a million guards and they're just all going to run around Harden. It's just, this is a terrible, terrible plan. It kind of brings me great joy for some reason.
It's fantastic.
But I do think that, Harden did this on many other teams and got a lot of wins running around doing his thing. That was when he was a younger man, of course. And when Kawhi Leonard plays, he's pretty good and is worth a few wins. But I've got him at 40.
We're in the same ballpark. Harper?
Doesn't inspire much confidence when their team doesn't like their team. I'll give them 35.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
time to lean into the rebuild. This team superstar doesn't play, and like you said, James Harden's their best player.
Yeah.
It ain't going great.
Joey, what's Vegas got him at?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Did you hear the Jumbotron has a T-shirt can?
Is that worth wins, Joe?
Good
Is that
for
what that is?
5 wins.
The team is based in Los Angeles, which is a huge population. So that makes this team better already. We've got them at 42.5 wins this year, which is ridiculous.
Bullish.
And we are consensus under.
All right.
That is nice.
It is nice. All right, well, so we've made it through the Western Conference while Harper helps me out and tries to find consensus unders. I can tell you what our on average order in the Western Conference would be. Oklahoma City first, Dallas second, Minnesota third, Denver fourth, Phoenix fifth, the Pellies sixth, the Sacramento Kings 7th, Lakers 8th, Rockets 9th, and the Warriors 10th. So that's basically the same play-in group as last year, except the Rockets are replacing them. And then just missing are the Grizzlies, the Clippers, the Spurs, the Jazz, and the Trailblazers.
I don't know if the Blazers are just missing.
Well, yeah, sorry. The just missing only apply to the Grizzlies. There's basically tied with the Warriors in our average. If you were to average me, you, and Harper. All right, Harper. Do we have any consensus good bets for the fans out there?
I show 7 consensus bets. We are all over on the Houston Rockets, Minnesota Timberwolves, and somehow the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, book it.
Yeah. And took the unders on the very terrible Clippers, the Memphis Grizzlies, San Antonio Spurs, and the Utah Jazz.
Well, there you have it, fans. We will be back with you.
I think the Memphis Grizzlies is a stay away.
Agreed.
Yeah, the Memphis Grizzlies are probably a stay away, but the Jazz you can go to the bank on. They're not going to be very good.
And the Clippers. Go ahead and take that to the bank.
Yeah.
I'm done with this one, Joey.
Sweet.
You want to take us out?
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah,
work, Jason.
well-
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And Jason, and congrats to Jason. I think you won. Harper is the loser this week. Sorry about that, bud.
I mean, you had a good second half, but it
I'll
wasn't
come
enough.
back strong next week to make up for it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, the thing is, Harper, honestly, I think you did a great job, but I need to motivate you. I know negging you, I think, is how you are motivated.
Only the
so.
stick works. Yeah.
Yeah. And Colson, of course, you get an exemption.
Thank
for
you, that's right.
Apocalypse. Yeah.
I was late. I was unprepared.
Yes.
But I
Good job,
somehow
buddy.
passed. Exactly. Sliding on through.
Yep. I'm just, hey man, you got internet back, and so you're here.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
we
Winning.
would have.
That is winning.
I'd tell you what, we could probably do an entire show on the different ways we've had to record in the past with traveling, and I don't know. I did one while I had COVID, like laying in a bed on an iPad.
That happened.
There's definitely been birds in the background. We got to be here. So no excuses. Uphill both ways,
Even if
So,
your town is wiped off the map.
yeah, I mean that's saying that's how my grandparents podcasted that way, and that's how we podcast.
Fair enough.
They're bringing us up right. So yes, we will be back with you next week with the Eastern Conference, and we'll be digging in similarly, talking about all those teams and then the Pacers a little bit. And season's pretty soon here, so very excited. There's a lot of fun stuff to talk about for the Pacers and for the Eastern Conference. So until then, you can find us on Twitter at Undebeatables. And by the way, shout out to the internet at large, which is just ignoring the rebrand on Twitter. I love it. We're on Facebook.com/The Undebeatables, and our website is TheUndebeatables.com. There's also a contact form there. And email, shout out at TheUndebeatables.com, and of course our Patreon, patreon.com/Undebeatables. Appreciate all of our patrons out there, which keep the lights on and the water flowing for most of us. Shout out.
For the architect Donnie Walsh and our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Sick-Leonard.
He gets a pass, damn it. Boy.
That was gold. Gold. Podcast gold, Joey.
We're gonna need to have a short leash for this season. Oh, and Harper, you got a promotion.
Failing up.
What's mostly going on around here? Yeah.
Boy.
Oh, nicely done, Dave.
Yeah.
Colson, what's the craziest stuff you saw?
I mean, there's restaurants we used to go to and bars we used to go to that are just gone. I mean, like literally, the bricks are gone. There's nothing left. I've never been in a war zone, so I don't want to say it was like being in a war zone. But down by the river, it's just like everything's covered in mud and trash all the way up into the trees, and everything's just knocked over and. It's wild. I mean, there's just trash and shit everywhere. It's pretty awful. And just parts of buildings gone. Things just turned over on their side. There's just semi trucks laying and flipped upside down. It's wild. We went through Biltmore Village, and there were just cars like parked up on top of rocks and stumps and stuff, and it's like, oh, they didn't park there. That's just where they were left by the water, and it was just weird stuff like that. So, yeah.
So what do you guys do? How do you pass the time? What do you guys do? You just walk around?
I mean, you'd be surprised. Yeah, we walk around. You'd be surprised how much, things take longer when you don't have water.
Sure.
Cooking takes longer. Washing takes longer. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of New York Times crossword puzzles because we had those offline. So, been doing that. Sudoku's also offline, which has been nice. Erica's been volunteering through her schools. They're turning the schools into distribution centers. So like water and diapers and food and clothes and stuff. So she's unloading boxcars and we go over to Angela's every other day just to get showers. I don't know.
So you need to get water from to flush the toilet.
Yeah. I mean, we literally can't flush the toilet without. We fill up just glass jars and jugs and everything we have. We're getting better at it. We have more of a system now. We've got a few 5-gallon buckets, but we need more of those because it's just this whole rigmarole.
So is it no running water? So it's no running water, right? Is it unsafe water coming through or no water coming through?
No water at all, and also if it does come back, it's unsafe.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know if you could flush the toilet.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be fine.
Yeah, I can flush the toilet and shower, but I just can't drink. Yeah, we just have to boil everything for drinking. They're bringing. I mean, we have a shit ton of water to drink. I mean, we've got, that's just been available. People. I mean, that's what people are bringing, which is great. So there's just a ton of water jugs and bottled water and all that. It's just flushing the toilet. You can't. I mean, we went to the creek and filled up our bottles just to flush the toilet. You know, it was just wild. So anyway, I don't know what people are doing without. I mean, without Angela and her water, we wouldn't have been able to be here. It's just it's undoable.
Sure.
So
Well,
I don't know.
Biden, get over there, man.
well, and it's the whole city, right? And so like, there's no movie theaters, there's no restaurants, there's no. I mean, it's just there's nothing open because there's so when you wander around, sure, there's some restaurants are giving away free food, but like, there's nothing to do in this town,
Right?
Because it's just offline. So most of downtown has power now, but there's still huge stretches of town that don't have power. So, yeah, like driving, we're still out. I mean, when it first happened, there were no lights, no stoplights at all. So it was just fucking the wild, wild west. It was complete chaos to go anywhere. Now, I'd say probably seems like 75% of the lights are going, so it's doesn't feel as dangerous to drive. But we had that first day, we couldn't get a hold of Angela or Amanda, so we just drove over to find them because nobody had cell service. And so it was everybody else driving to see their family and friends, and with no stoplights.
Sure. Yeah.
And no cops directing anything, and just cars and trees and debris and all the roads. It was pretty scary. So anyway,
Damn.
but we found out she had power, and since she had power and she's on well, she had water. But without power, she can't even get water. So she lost power Friday and went to her boyfriend's house. But we went over to check on her on Saturday, and her power had come back on, so she had water. So thank God she was on a well. It was a big pain in the ass when she bought the house. She was like, "Why am I not on city water?" She's real happy right about
kidding.
now.
Yeah. Right.
So Amanda and Taylor still don't have water, but they got power back. They still don't have internet. Yeah, it's just it's just gonna take forever for all this stuff to come back. And I can't serve a beer until I have a bathroom, and I can't have a bathroom until I have running water. So
We have that stuff up here, though.
Yeah.
My dude.
fair enough.
Just saying. We have schools here, too.
Yeah. They said there is no timeline for the water to come back.
Damn.
We're hearing 3 weeks. We're hearing Christmas. So
That's wild.
yeah, we'll keep you updated.
Yeah.